Welcome back to the BeDFRNT podcast. I'm clearly not Brad Redford, but we're going to do a segment called Lacing Up with Leonard that we do weekly. And we got a special guest today. Lee, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, well, Brad had to take off today a little early. Glad to get the muskie out of here. So we got we got our 3 Bearcats and our one muskie.
One kind of muskie, you know.
We won't hold it against you.
I'll go half Bearcat. I don't know if I can go full-fledged. More of a Wildcat.
More of a Wildcat, but
it's okay.
Special guest today, one of my close friends. Known him since we've been young, 17 years old. Prolific career, high school, college, and professionally. So want to welcome to the podcast, Dermarr Johnson.
Welcome,
Dermarr. When did you guys first meet? Was it your first year at UC? Or did you?
17.
Yeah, we came in as freshmen together.
Yeah. Came in as freshmen together?
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Washington, D.C.
D.C.
Yeah.
So it says here, I'm seeing some stuff about some Adidas shoe stuff. Sonny Vaccaro, Curtis Malone, AAU.
Uh-huh.
So where'd you go to high school? And then, how did you get to UC?
I moved around a few high schools. Once ninth grade is when I started really playing AAU, and I met Curtis Malone, and he moved me to from Parkdale High School to Newport, and then I finished my senior year at MCI in Maine, and after we figured out that we wasn't going to go straight to the NBA. We had to narrow down a few schools, and Cincinnati, it was just right there, and it made sense.
So did you the process? Because we were the same year. So as freshmen in high school, you had a real big following. I think you were number 1 freshman year. So what was that process like through grade school and getting to high school and then kind of pushing through as the number 1 player? How tall were you? How did all of this stuff kind of add into this 6'9" shooting guard?
It kind of happened overnight because I didn't grow up playing on a team. I just played in my neighborhood. I always played with grown men, and I was always small and skinny. I could never post up. I was, the good thing the popular thing in our neighborhood was being able to dribble and cross guys over and shoot. And I was doing that young. I just somehow grew up. I was 6'9" one day. One day I wake up and that happened from 8th grade to 9th is when I really grew, and I still was a guard.
How tall was that? How tall were you from that when you made that transition from 8th to 9th?
When I was in the 7th, I was 5'11".
Okay.
Then I was 6'2" my 8th grade year, and then by the end of my 9th grade year, I was 6'8".
Holy crap! That was my dream. I was
just never happened for you.
I still haven't hit it yet. I'm thinking maybe if I hit 30 and then I'll get my growth spurt. Oh, that's great. So how did you? So you picked UC over Maryland and UConn?
I did.
What made you make that decision?
A big thing. A lot of things came into play with that. A big thing the scouts, they told me the scouts wanted to see was me get stronger. And Cincinnati had this great weight program. Also, they were sponsored by Jordan. Also, Kenny Satterfield was calling me every day trying to get me to come because he already, committed first. And when Hugs came into my school and how he talked to me and was telling me everything, he just had this demeanor about him, and I didn't even take a visit nowhere else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even.
You just knew, this is the place.
Yeah.
Huh.
How much did you guys speak to other players in your guys' class? Did you guys all kind of know each other before everyone committed, or did Satterfield come first and then it all kind of fell in?
Sat was the driving force between. He was calling me the same way every day. Be nighttime, my phone would ring because that's back before kind of the cell phone era.
Yeah.
House phone would ring, it'd be him, and we talked through. What'd you do today? What does this look like? And then actually, me and Kenny came on our visit together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was Kenny from?
New York City.
New York. So you guys were both. You guys were both from New York. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So Kenny and I had a good rapport because actually we both went to the state championship back-to-back years. He was Class A and I was Class B. So knew him, all of his teammates. Back then, though, high school was pretty competitive. You had teams. I mean, especially AAU. I mean, DJ's team was DC Assault. Those guys had, I think, every NBA player in our era on the team.
Who'd you play with on that team?
Keith Bogans.
My dude.
Who else is on that team? That you got Rodney White, James White. James White didn't get in the game.
James the Flight
James White didn't get in the game.
No, we had like 3 guys on our bench that didn't get in the
Was
game.
he doing the
that were
halftime show
pros.
just dunking?
Yeah, right.
No, all that stuff came after I left. I mean, he was dunking, but all the flying like he ended up doing, that came when I left. We had 3 pros that didn't even get in the game on our team. James White,
Wow.
David Hawkins, and Bernard Robinson.
You had a hell of an AAU team too. You were dropping names the other day on your AAU.
That was
team.
his high school team.
Was your high school team?
Yeah, that was our high school team. AAU team we had. So our AAU team transitioned. I mean, the older guys, Elton Brand, Lamar Odom played a couple games. Those guys were older. Then Lionel and I were younger. And then all those guys left. And it was myself, Lionel, our center was Qadir Habib. He wound up going to St. Bonaventure, Julius Page from Pitt. So we had a decent team. But, I mean, those guys, I mean, they were stacked up, and they were a little intimidating because they're sponsored by Adidas. They walk in the gym, everybody 6'5" and taller.
Geared up.
Yeah, geared up. So, but, I mean, it was competitive. I mean, Kenny had a good team. I mean, it was just basketball. I mean, everyone was out there kind of competing, you know, a little different from these days, but you know, everybody was getting after.
What I think is crazy too is like now with like social media and like Instagram and like all that. If I'm like Zion Williamson or whatever, I just feel like today you could be able to just make these immediate super teams with like, hey, let's go win a national championship before we go to the NBA. I don't understand why it's not happening as much like that. I think it's
Playing
crazy.
time. Everybody wants the playing time.
Yes, but like if you guys if everyone chose a school like, let's go to Missouri, and then let's get the top 5 players in each class, and let's go win a national championship. See if we can do it.
I think that may start to happen because I think this year is the first year ever 1, 2, and 3 went are committed to the same. The same.
I heard that comes with 6 figures in cars though too. So. It hasn't been reported yet, but I'm pretty sure it's in there.
I wish we had that social media back when we was playing.
Oh, gosh.
Man.
Oh, I mean, now like the ability to make a personal brand before you even leave college is more vast.
Right.
I mean, even now you guys still get perks from being around the city, right? People know your name.
Right.
But now you could leave college with 50,000 people that know your name.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it was, the teams we had with social media would have been,
Oh yeah,
that would have been off the charts.
I mean, you guys were number 1 in the country for 12 weeks? Yeah. How was that? I mean, I feel like, you know, Brad doesn't let you get too much of this, you know, number 1 talk. He gets jealous. So, how was it walking around campus being number 1? What was that like?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Just wild?
No, it was like rock stars, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. I remember Kenny and I went to the mall to get some sneakers because we used to go buy sneakers, and we actually almost got in trouble for this. We used to go buy sneakers and play in different sneakers that weren't Jordans.
Oh, okay.
And I think Hugs said he got a call from Jordan.
Did he?
Yeah, Jordan, like the brand people called him and said, listen, if these guys don't start wearing Jordans, I mean, we were out there wearing Boeings, Vince Carter's.
Yeah, I played at phone posits.
Yeah, he played in phone posits. I mean, it was crazy, man. But I mean, the following we had was just unreal. I think we had a camera crew freshman year following us around.
No way.
I wonder where that footage is.
Somebody sent me some pictures of the ESPN magazine of some pictures when they was here. I didn't see no video though. But yeah, it was. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, it was crazy. Now that also was a big reason why I came here too. When Hugs basically said, "This is the guys on the team now, and this is where you'll be," I figured that we would be number 1. I didn't think we would lose all year. Really, the team we had, especially being in practice every day and how competitive it was. But yeah, that was a crazy year.
I do. So I have to thank you because I'm sure you remember this. Tri-County Mall, outside of a CD store. I think I was in 7th grade. You signed an autographed CD for me, so thanks. Yeah.
He's got a frame.
My man was a rapper.
I gotta tell him. My
man was a rapper, man. You had him sign the CD. What CD was it? You remember?
I don't even. I have no idea. It was the only thing I had to sign. I'm like, holy shit! Like that's Dermarr Johnson. I get his autograph.
It was probably a ludicrous CD. You look
It
like
might have been a ludicrous, something like that.
The only thing that would have made that story better to me is if you would have told him, like, get the hell out of your face. Like, I'm not saying.
Xavier Muskie,
Nah, I
man.
wouldn't do that.
I was a Bearcat fan growing up. I was.
He's converted.
I converted. It was one day. Got to go in the practice gym at Xavier and play with like Romain Sato and all those dudes. And I was just like, I've never got to play with any UC players before. I've got a couple of their autographs. But
That was it.
But yeah, so yeah, freshman year was a good experience. I mean, even coming in, it was, we were playing through the summer, getting ready for the season. I mean, you could see, how good the team was going to be. I mean, it was unreal. It was really competitive, though. I mean, really competitive.
Who was your guys' challenge in the conference around that time? Who would you say you're the biggest rival you had? Because that was Conference USA back then. Like Louisville? Would you say? Or
My year was DePaul.
DePaul,
My year.
yeah.
really,
DePaul.
DePaul.
DePaul had like 4 or 5 NBA players in that team.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess.
The fall is mighty.
Wow.
Lance Williams, Quentin Richardson,
Bobby
Simmons,
Stephen Hunter,
Steve Hunter.
Wow.
Paul McPherson.
Yeah,
Quentin Richardson. How was that transition going from college to the pros that first year?
I was preparing for that, since I was a sophomore. I was doing workouts.
Is that when you knew you were going to be able to go?
Yeah, after like my first few AAU tournaments, really, I got MVP and we won a tournament, and I went from nobody knowing me until guys asking me, am I coming straight out of high school to the NBA? So my Curtis Malone, who name you mentioned earlier, he prepared me for that early. I was weight training with, NBA training guys and doing individual workouts with NBA coaches and playing against them guys, just preparing, for that. So the transition wasn't as probably as hard as it would be for most guys. I didn't play like I thought I would play, and I didn't think that had nothing to do with me not being ready. It was just, they wanted to bring me along slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your time in the league.
It was up and down. My first year I didn't play like I thought I would. I had a lot of highlights. I was on SportsCenter a lot from Duncan.
Yeah, Theo Radcliffe. Radcliffe took one of those.
And I wasn't happy about that at all. And me and Coach kind of bumped heads. And I went to work out in LA that summer. I didn't stay in Atlanta like he wanted me to. So the first few games of the season, he set me. He was pissed off at me. And then the second half of that year is when it really started to turn around. I played great. The team was winning. And the third year is supposed to be the breakout year, but that's when I had my accident.
Yeah. How was that? I mean, so I guess what happened and how was the recovery process to, get back to where you were?
Mm-hmm. So I fell asleep at a light. And then when I woke up, my car had hit a tree and I had to get out of it before it blew up.
What?
It blew up?
Yeah, like a few minutes after I got
No
out of it.
way.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's like a movie script.
Yeah.
So did you
crazy.
know that you had your neck was broken at that point, or did you?
Not at all. It was the whole thing was kind of like it was like blurry, but I got into a car. A car had pulled up and must have seen the fire and all that. So I got into these ladies' car. Me and my guys that was in the car with me. She drove us to the hospital. I got out of the car and went into the hospital.
You just walked.
Just walked right into the hospital.
broken neck.
At what point? I have no idea. I woke up to the news that I had a broken neck. I don't know when that happened because I walked before that.
That's wild.
But I went to the hospital and basically just went back to sleep.
And so I mean, what was your I guess rehab like?
It was just about getting the range of motion back in my neck. My body was fine. I just couldn't turn my neck left or right. And that was the rehab. It wasn't too crazy, but trying to get my body back right because I had a halo wound for so long, I couldn't really do any moving. So I couldn't even imagine not being able to turn your neck left or right at all.
Oh my gosh!
At all.
You have to turn your body every single time.
Got to turn your body every single time. So trying to get the muscles back working, it was
tough.
Yeah, it was weird.
Who do you think you're? So I mean, you played with Dikembe Mutombo, Kukoc, Jason
What was he
Terry.
like?
Yeah, what was Mutombo like?
Deaky, that's my guy. These guys, do you grow up watching and you finally get a chance to
This is it.
to
This
be
is
around
like-
them? Yeah.
like the man. Like I just grew up watching him. Like,
Right.
oh, he blocked Michael. Oh my god.
He's
You
like
know?
the funny. He's like the funniest guy, and the greatest guy to be around. It's funny. His English is still terrible after he's been here so long. But trust me, he's not like you would think he would be. A lot of stuff I can't say.
Yeah.
But he's not like you would think he would be. He's a great guy.
How old is he?
Is
he 103?
He could be.
He's 103. I
I
think.
don't think no one really knows.
Yeah.
We were looking
was
it
moving
up.
around.
No, we were talking about Manute Bol. We were looking up to
Oh,
see
no, it was Bol.
how old Manute Bol was, and
That's
his
what it was.
agent was like, I had no idea. He's like, he could have. There's a good chance he was in his 40s when he was playing in the league. Like
Right.
they're like, we had to make up a birthday for this guy.
Yeah.
So-
They say the same thing about the kid.
yeah,
But Tumble was moving pretty well to be an old man.
yeah,
Yeah.
He was,
yeah.
getting, he was getting it done.
I tell you what, he was blocking a lot of dunks. I mean, guys, you would think they have him. He catch you right at the rim, and he's really talented at that. I never got him. I got a lot of guys in practice or anything. I've never dunked on him.
Really. Who would you say the best player you ever played with was?
Allen Iverson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good
Even
one.
even in practice.
Yeah,
Yeah, he practiced when he came to Denver and played with us. He practiced.
you practiced. Good.
That's always one of my favorite things about the AI like legacy is like everyone
Right.
always plays that snippet.
Exactly.
And it's just like clearly the man practiced.
Yeah.
He's one of the best point guards of all time. Shut
Right.
up. He practiced.
Right,
So
right.
you-
But no one, like people just think he just like never went to practice. He just showed up to the game.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of one snippet.
Yeah.
He'll let you know though. Well, for the big three, somebody said that to him. He said, "Man, can you get more creative than that?"
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's all everybody says. Practice. You probably get tired of hearing that.
So we talked to John Horford earlier on the phone, and he said that he played maybe a couple weeks with you, and he said in this shithole place in the Dominican Republic, and he goes, but I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure Demar's last game he dropped 40 points. How was it traveling? I mean, after the NBA, I mean, you got to kind of see the world playing basketball.
Well, what's it? I mean, Greg, we can get into so DJ. Six pick Atlanta. Other teams that you spent time with: Denver, San Antonio, New York. I mean, what was your favorite? What was your favorite place?
Well, my favorite was Denver.
Okay.
Because with all my guys, I got to be back with Kenyon again. From the success we had at Cincinnati, and Carmelo, and then AI came to the team. We just had a bunch of guys that I was friends with. We were more close of a team. In Atlanta, I loved Atlanta, but we lost. We was getting our bus kicked. In Denver, we won. We was in the playoffs every year.
I was
We
gonna
just
say, that was
couldn't
a
get
good
past the
team.
Spurs. Yeah, it was a good team. A team that could have did more than it did, but the Spurs,
Well, you ran into the Spurs.
right.
Talking about
And
one
the
of
Lakers,
greatest teams of all time.
the Lakers too, right in the finals one year, right?
That was the year after I left. We lost to the Clippers one year. We lost to the Lakers 2 years. And then I went to San Antonio, and then they lost to the Lakers that year.
Okay.
Played for Pop, huh?
Yeah.
How was that? He seems like a very interesting guy.
Very, very. I tell guys all the time, the little bit of time I was there, and I can just see how he was by far the best coach I've ever played for.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a certain what made him stand out?
He just gets it, and he's like always right. Even with good coaches, coaches will say some things, and guys like, I don't know, coach, about this one. But Pop, he's always right. I've never caught him being wrong about anything. Like he gets on his guys. Like Tony, like my first practice, he's telling Tony Parker, he's like, man, my wife literally could have been you last night. You didn't do anything wrong. like he lets them guys have it. I mean, you wouldn't you wouldn't believe like the stars. And I never seen that before, because in Denver, George wouldn't let Carmelo have it like that, and I never seen a guy talk to their superstars like that.
Well, I feel like Melo kind of commands his own little presence, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like that was probably like LaMelo, like he just lets it fly. He just does what he wants to do. It felt like at least like watching.
Right.
He's just gonna do what he wants to do.
Right.
I feel like if he would have played for the Spurs, he could have molded more into like maybe get that championship or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, because Pop's not having it. He'll.
I mean, that's why he's got the rings, right?
And everybody buys in. Nobody has a problem with it. Everybody around there walk around like champions. They don't have a worry in the world, never panic, and just that whole atmosphere around there was just like they're all champions.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, do you want to talk about UC?
We can go into YouTube. We'll get into kind of some of the big three stuff that DJ's doing also.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good experience. I got to travel a little bit as a fan last year to watch him and Kenya and James White, some of those guys play. It was a really good experience, but, I mean, it was good kind of watching those guys play again. And just kind of, DJ, you want to kind of get
I'll
into.
be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
So. you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, let's get into that.
The Big Three, you haven't heard of it?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen it on ESPN, just the championship game last year, but it was.
Oh, the 3-on-3 stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear
You
Big
need some
Three,
coffee?
man. I was thinking about like Celtics.
You want to take a
instead
sip of that
Big
coffee?
Three.
You want some of that coffee
Yeah,
right
right?
here? Wake you up,
I
man.
drank my coffee so early this morning. While you were still in bed and we were setting up, I had my coffee, and it's over with. Okay, Big Three.
Yeah, how'd you get into that?
So Kenyon had called me months before it happened and said, I talked to Ice Cube and they're going to start this 3-on-3 league, with a bunch of ex-NBA players. Would you be interested in playing? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, so it's going to be me, you, and Al Hearns. I'm going to try to get Gilbert Arenas. And he was just trying to put together, a 5-man team, three play at a time, 5 to a team. And then as it materialized and got more and more into it, they started picking up different captains. They allowed all the captains to pick a co-captain. And Kenyon picked Al Hearns as his co-captain. And Allen Iverson went on as a captain, and he was calling me. He was like, man, I'm about to be a captain, man. You playing with me? I was like, bro, I'm already playing with Kenyon. I told Kenyon I'm playing with him. Asked like 5 times. I'm like, nah. Then when Kenyon picked Al, he was like, man, he made Al Hearns his co-captain, man. I'm making you my co-captain, man. I was like, well, you talk to Kenyon about that because I don't want no trouble. I told my guy playing with him. He said, all right, I'm going to talk to Kenyon. And then he ended up just making me his co-captain. Then I was like, you talked to Kenyon? He said, yeah, I talked to him. So I called Kenyon and said, hey, you talked to Allen? He was like, nah. I was like, man, well, he made me his co-captain for the Big Three. I told him 5 times I'm on your team, and he said he's going to talk to you, and he said he did. He's like, man, Chuck. He's like, man, he said, man, well, listen, you got a chance to be the co-captain. Go ahead, go get the money. It's cool. I was like, I'm just letting you know because I didn't switch up on you. That was, he did that. He said he spoke to you. So that's how I got involved with it.
And so you said with money, so like does the purse change for captain, co-captain, and then the rest?
Well, this year it does. Last year it didn't change. The captain was just, they're locked in to the money, and the other players, they got to get drafted.
Gotcha.
So there was we had to pick 3 more players.
How many total teams were involved?
8.
8 total teams?
Yeah.
How'd you guys fare?
We were 5th.
5th?
Yeah.
And you're playing again this year?
Yeah.
When does that start up? Or is it actively going?
The draft is April, and then the league starts in June.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but there are a lot of new names this year. So far we picked up Baron Davis and Drew Gooden as co-captains.
Oh, nice.
Because Allen's going to be the coach, and I'm the captain. So I signed Baron Davis and Drew Gooden as my co-captains. And
Man, you're talking about real names.
yeah, no, there's more names in it this year. Rasheed Wallace came on. Ron, I don't know if you guys know the names that were already there.
No,
I didn't.
Tell the people.
Chauncey Billups, Steven Jackson, and Ron Artest are on the team so far right now. Jermaine O'Neal, Rasheed Wallace, Nate Robinson. And Rashad Lewis was the MVP last year. Rashad Lewis looked great. He has Kwame Brown, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
So you're not a joke if you're playing in this.
Nah, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's competitive. Those guys get after it.
And
Trash talking
yeah.
at its finest.
You averaged over 25 points a game in it last year?
Well, we only go to 50.
Oh, you only go to 50?
You
Yeah.
play 250?
You play to 50.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, half court.
This needs more coverage.
Average over
Why don't I know about this?
I don't
You
know.
gotta look
It
up,
came
man.
came on Fox,
Fox, yeah.
every Monday.
See, I'm like poor man. I don't like pay for cable and stuff. Like, I stream what I want to watch.
Right.
Like,
Right.
But maybe I'll have to pick this up. That seems really interesting. I like to play 250.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
No,
like
it's
that.
competitive.
And it's competitive, though. It's 4-point shot.
4-point shot. How
Yeah,
deep
it's
is that?
3 4-point shots. It's pretty far. I don't know the measurements, but it's far.
It's deep.
It's deep. Yeah. Yeah, guys is talking trash. And we got like Hall of Fame coaches. Like Gary Payton's a coach. Dr. J's a coach. Iceman Gervin's a coach. Rick Barry's a coach.
Man, these names, I feel like this is
That's
gonna be
awesome.
It's got to be
Yeah.
on the ESPN. It's on
We
Fox,
pack-
like FS1.
We packing arenas. We're playing in front of 15,000.
Where is it held at? Is it all around, or is it in
It's all around. It's 10 different cities.
10 cities?
Yeah.
10 cities, 8 teams. Mm-hmm. And how many? Is it round robin? You play everybody?
Yep.
You play everybody, yeah. You might end up playing somebody twice.
And $2 million. That's a nice prize.
Well, the prize is not $2 million. It's you get the leagues get 52% of the revenue. So depending on where you see, like,
okay.
like Kenya Martin and James White was on the team together. They won it, and so they got 30% of the revenue.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
Well, see, I've got Brad's notes here. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna look in this camera. Brad,
$2
your
million.
notes suck.
Yeah.
All right, you update these things.
He talking about the
Muskie,
TBT
man.
tournament.
He's a muskie, man. What
That's
do you
right.
expect, man?
Yeah.
He's
He can't
talking
even
about the
screw-
big three.
he
He's
can't
talking
even-
about a whole different tournament.
We
Yeah, that's
can't
the TBT
we
tournament,
all
yeah.
be academic All-Americans, Leonard. Okay.
I mean,
yeah,
I wasn't a D1 player, but I wouldn't have made the academic portion as well either. So, I just learned how to turn on a camera about 3 years ago, so it's okay.
Doing a good job with it, though.
I figured out. I mean, I'm better at screwing in a light bulb than Brad.
Brad is.
Brad told us a couple weeks ago he didn't know how to screw in a light bulb until he was like, what, 20 something?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Embarrassing.
How
Embarrassing stuff.
I've always wondered, how did Steve Logan fare in practice? He seemed a little. He seemed like a little bit bigger of a guy most of the time. Like he might get winded. I mean, he was amazing. That
Listen,
dude.
this is no secret. I played with Lowe on the team with him for 3 years, and I hated every day of it. But I mean, the guy's a competitor, and I love, you know what I mean. I love playing alongside with him,
Yeah.
because we did a good job. But just some of his antics, I'm just like, Lowe, man, stop it.
Cool,
Like,
man.
Stop it. I mean, I remember we played UNC Charlotte. At UNC Charlotte, this is my junior year. So we're number 1 in the country this year. And it's funny because Corey Blunt was at the game, and he brought he was playing with the Sixers. He brought Iverson, Mutombo, and all of them guys to the game. And I think I had 36 or something like that. So at the end of the game, everyone's fouling to get point. You know, you're getting the ball to go to
Right.
the free throw line. Logue looks at Emmanuel McElroy and goes, "Man, every time, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. Don't throw him the ball." I said, "Logue, what are you doing, man?" So that was some of the stuff that he would do, man. He would just, I mean, competitive to the death. One of the best players I ever played with. Don't get, I'm not taking that away, but just, kind of playing with him. He's got a little chip on his shoulder.
He wanted to get those free throws at the end of the game, keep that 90% from the stripe.
Yeah, but he was good though. He could score the ball, talented, smart, high IQ. And it was, I wouldn't trade playing with him for anything. I mean, he was good.
Yeah,
So we always get some good hugging stories out of our boy here. You got any good hug stories for us?
Well, he has more. I was only there for a year,
That's true.
so I don't really remember a lot. There's a lot. The best one I remember is when I tell people is we had a charge drill where you just stand in front of the rim and you got to take a charge. The guy just basically runs you over, and some guys were kind of flinching up. And he was, cussing guys out like, "You mother effers don't know how to do this. I'm gonna show you how to do it." So he picks BJ Grove, who this whole year he's riding BJ. BJ can't even practice with us. He's running during practice because he want BJ to be like 255, and
He's a big boy.
big boy.
Big boy.
And BJ he couldn't really make the weight. So and BJ was good in high school. I remember
good,
BJ.
good
I was expecting him to play. And he didn't really play at all. So, I know he's probably pissed at Hugs because, Hugs is killing him every day. So he picks BJ to be the guy who he demonstrates the charge drill on. And BJ drove down and knocked Hugs under the basket. And Hugs got up, his face was red, but he stood in there and took it though.
I mean, it's a full sprint from half court.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Hugs is standing under the basket.
Full sprint from half court.
Full
Yeah.
sprint from half
So you guys
court.
are just essentially tackling each other.
Yeah.
And you gotta sit there
And
and take
BJ's
take
a
a
solid
charge.
270 at that
BJ
time,
might have been
probably.
290
At least.
BJ was my roommate freshman year, so I'll never forget this story. This is how bad BJ's luck was. So we go to play. No, this is not my freshman year. This is junior year. We go to play. Oregon. Oregon's number 1 in the country. We go play Oregon. Luke Rittenauer, Luke Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So this one, Kenyon was playing with the Nets. So we get to New Jersey. So when we get to the hotel, Kenyon was coming to pick me up. So Hugs is like, fine, just be back. You know, we got film later on the night, be back or whatever. So Kenyon took me to eat. So I'm not in the hotel. So BJ orders a pizza from the local pizzeria. The pizza guy gets on the elevator. Hugs gets on the elevator at the same time the pizza guy does. Hugs and our trainer, Jade. So they're going up. They press the button. So Hugs goes, 7. He goes, my guys are on 7. He goes, which room are you going to? Oh, man. So he's like 713. So Jay, he goes, Jay, whose room is that? He goes, Jay looks, well, that's Lenny and BJ's room. Hugs takes the pizza from the pizza guy. Knocks on the door. Is this what you want? Call BJ a couple choice names, and BJ never saw that pizza. So the next day we go to the best steakhouse in New York City. That's where we go eat. BJ had to eat salad while everybody else ate steak.
Wow.
Oh, that's torment.
Yeah.
That's God.
But I mean, that's the type of.
And he's trying to make weight, and you ordered a large pizza.
I mean, BJ was so traumatized. He was my roommate, man. He got rolled so bad for not making the weight that I remember we were in the dorms freshman year. BJ was outside eating Starburst. Like I hear the rappers like. So I come out, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He was like, man, don't say nothing about this.
He's trying to hide drugs. He's like, trying to hide drugs from mom and dad.
Yeah, I was
just having Starburst.
Oh, that's awesome.
But BJ was a player, though, man.
Yeah, I remember. I think we might have had a day off one time, and when he came back, and he was like, "Man, you gained 20 pounds over the weekend." He said, "Man, that's hard effing work."
He got his pizzas in, that's for sure.
When BJ was for his mom used to cook.
Yeah.
So
I bet she was good at it.
Fried chicken.
I bet she was real good at it.
I mean, Hugs gave us. I think that was Hugs gave us 2 days off for that weekend, and then BJ went home and went to town. Fried chicken.
He put in some work.
Mashed potatoes, greens. I mean, he put the work in.
20 pounds over the weekend.
That's crazy.
What's it? So you're back as you're coaching now at UC as a grad assistant, right?
Yeah, undergrad assistant. Because I'm
assistant.
still finishing up too.
Right, got you. How are you loving it?
How's that going? How's class?
It's going great. Well, all mines are online.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
That's not the great part of it, but I'm getting it done, and it's great the coaching part because we're good.
Yeah,
6 in the country.
Yeah, we got
Things have got to be feeling good.
Yeah, good group of guys.
I mean, the dean's list first semester, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Congratulations.
Dean's listed, huh?
No, I've never seen.
Round of applause.
Never thought I would see that one.
I've never seen that either. Good for you.
We're on a lot of lists, man. A lot of top lists, man.
But you're like an adult now. You understand work ethic, so I feel like it's a lot
different.
harder when you're like 18, 19, 20 years old.
It's basketball.
You know, like now you understand like a little bit of balance, but
Right.
still good for you.
Right now, I'm here to finish. I didn't come here to make the dean's list.
Right.
I just wanted to get it done.
That's right.
So it just happened to happen that way, and it was good to be able to tell my kids that.
Heck yeah.
I was just trying to get through it, and next thing I know, I'm like, dean's list. Whoa.
I'm doing really well.
Right. So maybe we need to slow down a little bit.
What are you going to school for?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Watch out, Leo.
Nothing I'm
Burglar's
trying
You're
to
wearing the
use.
burglar's outfit. This
Definitely
Yeah, right.
Tiptoe bandit right now. Yeah. It was cold out today, man. Ice
Oh,
storm
it's cold.
outside, man.
There's no
Yeah.
joke out there this morning.
Yeah.
It's
Feel
no
bad
joke.
for Brad. He had on those
He had on those nice.
yeah,
But what do you call those? Slacks?
they were
Dress
definitely
slacks?
dress slacks.
I think Brad had one or too many cocktails last night. He wasn't feeling too hot this morning.
Yeah, he walked in today. You should have seen him. He looked like an angry little kid.
Yeah, he's just-
His mom woke him up too early for school.
His hair was all frizzy today. He wasn't.
He was so angry. But real quick, let's be on topic to UC. What do you kind of expect for the rest of the season from your guys?
Well, we're just trying to play for a good seed right now. Hopefully, we can win out and hopefully get a number 1 seed. If we win out, it's sad that Wichita State keep losing, so it's going to make that game not as important as we would hope. But
Well, that means it's a must win.
yeah. But if we beat a team that's ranked higher than a team that's out of the rankings, it'll be better. But we just got to take care of our business, win the games, win all our games, and hopefully get a number 1 seed.
So you think if you win out, you get number 1 seed?
we have a good chance.
I guess your Big East teams might beat each other up a little bit, so like
Right.
that could help.
Yeah.
The selection committee will find a way to do what they always do to us, which is screw us.
Right.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
see, that's why we.
Oh, you guys
gotta
got
win
screwed
out.
last year.
Yeah.
We get screwed all the time.
That's why
All
we
the
got to
time.
win out if we lose one of these games, because like Coach was saying, he was saying if we don't get the number 1 seed, there's no 2, 3, or 4. We'll probably be 5.
Yeah.
We lose another game.
Yeah, I was talking to. I was in Scottsdale this past weekend, and I was with 14 guys on a bachelor party. 13 of them are UC fans, and so I was making a joke. I'm like, "Yeah, you guys will win out, and you'll probably get a 5 seed. It's gonna be, like they're gonna screw you guys somehow." Like that.
Seriously.
Right.
I mean, it does suck. I mean, the AAC is not a very
Yeah.
loaded.
And
I mean,
you guys
that game
have-
last night was snoozeville.
Right.
Right. So I mean, I get it, but still, how many losses you guys have? Two. So I'm saying, so even if you like roll in with 4 losses, it's a fantastic season.
Yeah.
And if they're going to put you at a 5-6 seed, that's pretty brutal.
I feel like UC's second round matchups are always so tough.
Right.
I think it was UCLA, Kentucky. I mean, they just kind of.
But I mean, that's been the history.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a draw against UCLA. Started the season at number 1. We finished the season at number 1 and wound up playing them in the second round. They got the 5 NBA guys on the team.
Yeah.
And I mean, they sent us out west, so our fans can't get out there. I think they need to put a camera in that room, though, man.
Oh,
We-
into the selection.
I would
I would
love
love that. I would love
the
that.
people need to know. The
I
people
would
need
love
answers,
it.
man.
Yeah.
We
And
need
the
to know what's
thing
going
is,
on in there.
Yeah.
If you just live stream that, people would watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People would definitely watch. There'd be hundreds of thousands, if not a million people watching that thing.
Because I mean, what is the
formula?
formula? What is it?
They don't know.
Who's in that room?
Yeah, it's all right. Which matchups can we make the most money off of?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was just getting ready to say. Is people from Vegas in there? I mean, who's in this room?
Oh, there's some sort of Vegas pull in there.
Hey, man, it's got to be.
It's crap.
It's got to be something. There's a reason why there's no camera in there, and the reason why every team. Last year we got NKU, Kentucky, all the local teams play locally, and then we're out.
Yeah, you guys get sent out west.
It's crap.
Mick been on him though, so hopefully
And they've-
him making noise will help us out a little bit.
I mean, Mick he is just a fantastic defensive coach. I think we were talking a few podcasts ago. It's been almost like 10 years since he's had a team that's allowed more than like 65 points per game.
Right.
I mean, he's definitely got some good players. Gary Clark is.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Consistent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
What do you think has to happen for you guys to go, maybe not Sweet 16, but like Elite 8 or further?
We just got to play the way we play. We got a good team, and like he just said, we're very good defensively. We're very prepared for these games, and we know that teams aren't going to score a lot of points on us. We just got to be able to put some points on the board, not turn the ball over.
I think we got to get better point guard play,
Yeah.
more consistent. I think if we can do that, I think we'll be.
That's
and
kind
we
of the
talked
only
about that last week.
that's kind of the only concern that I see out of UC is like, if you guys get good point guard play, it's a dangerous team.
If we just need them to hit a few shots, and we'll be okay, because Kyle and Jake and Gary can take care of the rest of the scoring, and Jaren.
Anything else?
I think we're good. I think
We
this.
made-
Are you guys? Anything
anything
else to
else,
say?
Leonard?
That's it, man. Good
We
job.
made one
wanna-
without Brad. We probably shouldn't do this that often. But you shouldn't make it a habit.
Well, we want to thank DJ for taking
Yeah,
the
thanks
time.
for
out
coming
to
in. I
thank-
appreciate you
be a
coming in.
guest.
Thanks for having
Oh,
me.
Hey, thanks for that
real
autograph,
quick, real
too.
quick. I know that you're.
Anytime.
I know that you're going to be busy with like trying to make money when you play basketball.
Yeah.
But if you ever get bored, we're going to start a BeDFRNT rec league team.
Uh-huh.
We're going to go and put you on an honorary roster. If you ever make a Sunday
Yeah.
game.
If you ever want to come out on a Sunday and play a little ball.
Play a little ball.
I need to play, but I don't want to be out there playing with all guys under 6 feet. And I need some.
Oh, I'm sick. I'm like almost 6'1".
Bro, I can't stand up.
I'm so close to 6'1".
I'm like 6'2"-ish. And if you want, I'll wear like some bigger shoes.
Are you guys going to be the biggest
Oh, we're
guys there?
starters.
Well, Andy Mack's going to coach.
Andy Mack Williams is gonna be the coach.
Leonard's playing. Redford's playing. So there are other D1 athletes on the
The
team.
league is pretty competitive on Sunday.
I played in a Kiwanis league that was pretty competitive. It was CYO back.
I
in high
haven't
school.
played competitively since I was 9.
Since you were 9, man,
9 or
you
10.
better start getting in shape.
He's a
man.
lefty. He's a lefty.
I'm a
He's,
lefty. I can shoot a little bit.
Well, Brad, I think Brad can cover all the shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, but when my real role is going to be feeding the ball to people who are much better than me, and then trying not to get embarrassed on defense. That's all I really care about. As long as I don't like get crossed and fall, I'm good.
Smart.
That's all I really care about.
Wise man.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right. For
Thanks,
the Be Different
Lamar.
podcast, we're out. Thanks, Leonard.
we're done. All right.
Yeah. If